situation in your life that has shifted your perspective on how you view life now?
So it started about 2 years ago. I was working out, and when I work out, I normally listen to some podcasts. And I heard this podcast with Andy Frisella, who is a beast, and he created the 75 Hard Challenge, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a task every single day, or it's 5 or 6 tasks. So you need to drink a gallon of water a day. You need to read 10 pages of a motivational book or a self-improvement book. You need to work out 2 times a day. One has to be outside. Both are 45 minutes. And no alcohol. You also have to stick to a diet. So I heard that and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this seems so cool. It's not a trying to get into shape kind of thing. It's a motivational way to change your perspective and to change your life and how you view your situation, I think, and how you can make yourself better each day. And so I heard that and it kind of just went to the back of my head. And then a year later, I was listening to the same podcast. I don't know how it got back on. It must have been like something for me, but I was working out again and it came on again. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is something I want to do. It's a long time, 75 days doing all this. It's a long time, but I'm like, okay, maybe this is something I want to try. Like, I'm not really doing much. I was playing a sport, I was playing golf, but that's about it. Then it just goes to the back of my head again, and I saw a TikTok on it, and I'm like, okay, like maybe. And so then I was talking to some of my friends, and they're like, oh my gosh, like you should just start, see where it goes. So I download the app, and you check it off each day, what assignments you've done. And if you don't complete all assignments by the time you go to bed, then you have to restart on day 1. So I go home and I tell my dad, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start this challenge. And he's like, what kind of challenge are you thinking? So then I tell him about it, and he's like, oh my gosh, there's no way that you can do that. So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna prove to you that I can do it. So then it's December, middle of December in Chicago, about 20 degrees, and it's nighttime, and I haven't gone on a workout outside. So I put on snow pants, well, not snow pants, I put on like sweatpants and a hoodie and a jacket, and I go and do a walk for my 45 minutes workout, because I already worked out before. And then I repeat this for 75 days. I read 10 pages of a book. I finished about 3 or 4 books. I drink a gallon of water a day. I stuck to the diet. What I did was intermittent fasting, and then I also did no sugar, or not sugar, but like no dessert or anything. So no ice cream, no cupcakes, nothing like that. And then I also worked out another time for 45 minutes, but that could be like anything you wanted. And no alcohol, anything like that, or cheat meals. Anyway, so when I first you also have to take a progress picture every single day, and that's why people think it's like some type of diet or way to get in shape, because I wasn't doing that to get in shape. Like, I liked my body. I wasn't trying to change that. I just wanted to change mentally, because I felt like I was just stuck and I wasn't doing anything to improve myself. And so the first week that I started, it was really hard, like trying to find the time. But then you realize that when you set your priorities straight, that you're able to accomplish more than you thought. Instead of wasting, you could be on TikTok or Instagram, and it's just so addicting that you waste so much time. And then once you're done on that app, you're like, well, why did I just waste an hour when I could have been working out? I could have been reading something that could help me in the future, could help me get to my goals and dreams. And so the first week was hard, like I said, but then once I started keeping up with it, it got much better, and I realized that I actually started to change. I started to want to become better each day, and I tried doing more and more each day. I also own like a little fashion business, so then I started putting that into my requirements of things I should do each day.
Are there any distractions of people or things that were like trying to get you out of the way of doing it?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand the whole challenge itself. But there were times when I went to dinner with my friends, or like they went to ice cream and they're like, "Are you sure you don't want anything?" I'm like, "No, like I'm doing this challenge. Like I don't need ice cream or I don't need dessert, whatever. Like I'm sticking through. I'm proving to myself that I am able to do this and that I can become the person I want, because I really feel that this challenge helped me get to the mindset that I want to be at. I mean, obviously, there's so much improvement, and I each day want to improve more, and I'm never done changing my mindset, but that helped me get to where I wanted to be. And there are also a lot of times, like, for instance, it would be 10 o'clock at night, and I still hadn't done my outdoor workout. And so my mom would be like, "Okay, like, you don't have to do that." And, like, yeah, I didn't have to, but it's just knowing that if I didn't do that, I don't know if that makes sense. But
I was literally like today, like this morning, I was listening to Tony Roberts, one of his videos, and he was talking all about high standards and having your standards high, and like you're not gonna let anything or anyone stop you. So I think your standards were so high with this thing that like yeah, you could take that break, but then you're lowering your standards, which you didn't really want to do.
And also, like, I knew what I was doing each day, and you have to check it off. So if you don't complete one of those assignments, then you have to start from day one. So like I could pretend like I did it, but no, like I knew that I didn't. So that's what kept me to a high standard, I think. The only thing that matters is that you know. So like if I didn't do something, I knew. It didn't matter if anyone else knew. Like I was failing myself. So that's what kept me to a higher standard.
Especially when you're working out, because that can be a difficult thing for a lot of people. What in your brain was telling you not to stop, like to keep pushing and to keep going?
Well, when I work out, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I feel like that is what really motivates me, is because like if you don't have the motivation, like you can just turn it on by just listening to podcasts, and you can think about the situation. Honestly, it also is about changing your perspective and changing your mindset, I think, because whenever I'm like, I don't want to work out, or I'm working out, I think, okay, I'm so fortunate to be able to work out. Like there are people who can't work out or don't have access to a gym and stuff like that, and I'm able to do that. So it makes me change from being like annoyed to work out to being grateful that I am able to work out.
Yeah, you're changing your haves to your goods is actually what I posted about the other day, because I think that's important. How did it feel after the challenge was done? Did you continue to do it, or did you just binge back to your old habits, or was it actually effective?
So the day I finished was actually like the most proud I've ever been of myself. I don't know why. Like I could have taken a test and got over 100%, but nothing made me more proud than finishing it. After, I was kind of not confused, but I'm like, okay, how do I continue to incorporate everything, but not make it so extreme to where it's taking up so much time in the day? So after my challenge, I did try and keep my habits that I had created through the 75 hard. But as time went on, I became a little bit lazy, and I fell off of some of those habits. And I tried to keep myself accountable by making a plan every single day and like physically checking it off, but that didn't always work. So I would say that it totally changed my mindset. I'm not exactly where I want to be with my mindset, because I feel like you can always improve, but it was the starting base of knowing where I want to be in the right direction.
After you finished it, you talked about how you kind of like physically were, but mentally after that, out of the challenge in itself, how have you applied that discipline and that motivation into other factors in life besides just that challenge?
So I would say that the challenge really taught me to just start. If you want to do something and you want to get something over with, you just have to start, because there's so much to do on that list that need to get done each day. And if you just held it off to the end, like the first week I held it off to the end of the day, and then it would be like 10 o'clock and I still hadn't gone on my outdoor workout or read. So then I'd stay up until like 12 o'clock past then doing that stuff, even if it was a school night and I had to be up at like 7 in the morning. So for me, it mainly taught me that if you want to do anything, you just have to start. It doesn't matter where it is. You just have to get your butt out there and do something small to make you get into it, because if you don't, then it's just going to keep dragging on and you're not going to get to where you want to be.